Hello and welcome here inside of Bristol Motor Speedway. It is the Kubota 300 here, the Electric Racing Tour Hankook E-Cup Series tackles the concrete high banks of Bristol, the last great Coliseum. Glad to have you with us here on the Perez Sports Network, as always. Before we get started, let's take a look at your points situation heading into today's race. Quirt currently leads the standings with 5 wins. He'll be looking to add a 6th to his roster here today, 233 points. Blen, currently the closest one to him, 102 points back from the leader. Regent Gaming sits 10 points behind him. Rapid Skill is in 4th place, 125 points back from the leader. And then Raffies is sitting on that last transfer spot in overdrive, 153 points back. Sushi X Panic and Kane v. Me are sitting 6th and 7th in points, and then Matthew sits 190 points. He'll be trying to make up some of that margin here today. And then Brett sits 9th place in the standings, 201 points back, and then Alex Prime sits 10th. There are 5 winners that are collecting points here in the series. Of course, the race winner, or the one with the most wins so far, is Court. Regent Gaming is the second highest points-paying driver in terms of wins, with 2 wins on the year, looking for a 3rd. That's your point standings heading into today's race. Now let's take a look at your Hankook driver spotlight. Starting off, of course, with Matthew, a.k.a. Yo-Trait, driving a blank Ford for Perez Motorsports. He'll be looking for his 2nd win on the year. His last win came at, His last win came at Nashville Super Speedway. He'll be looking to add a 2nd oval to his count here. 2nd one coming up is, of course, going to be that number 1 car of Quartz. Unfortunately, with the ugliest car in the grid, it's also one of the fastest. He put up the 2nd fastest time in qualifying and the fastest time, or one of the fastest times in practice. And he'll be a threat here today as well. That number 1 Ford will be one to keep an eye out for. And the 3rd driver in our lineup here today, on the Hankook driver spotlight, you can probably expect that number 84 to catch your eye, making her first start in the Electric Racing Tour. Was supposed to make her start in the trucks earlier today, but unfortunately did not qualify for it. She'll be looking to carry on the Perez name in the Electric Racing Tour, in making her debut in that number 84 Shark Motor Club Toyota. With that being said, today's race is 100 laps and a not really packed house, but moderately packed house here in Bristol, Tennessee, here in the birthplace of country music. With that being said, 100 laps here from Bristol. Drivers, are you ready? All right, the drivers are ready to go there in chat. 100 laps here for the Kubota 300, or 200. Was it 200? Yeah, no, it was 300. Okay. So that being said, Yo-Trait and Court on the front row here, with Raffies and Random in the 2nd row, Brett and Blen in the 3rd row, and then Generva and Rapid in the 5th row. Drivers are all ready to go, and we're going to start the countdown here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag in the air from Bristol Motor Speedway. And we got one. Oh, something's wrong with Brett. Caution is out. Race back to the line. We're going to redo. We are going to redo. Brett got into the limiter. So everybody line up the way that you qualified. We are going to just redo. Wasn't aware that Brett had a limiter issue. Well, chaos to start the race here in Bristol. Like we said, we have 8 drivers currently on the grid here today. You can't get food. Oh, wow. So the drivers get lined up in the spot that they qualified in. It'll be just as if it's a fresh new race. The Maverick E-Truck Series will be racing here next week. It should be a fun race after what we saw at the Pocono race today for the Truck Series. And if the Cup race for Pocono was anything to go by last week, then these drivers will be putting on a heck of a show. All right, let's make sure we're all ready to go this time. I'm going to change Brett's laps because it'll probably reset when they get across the line. All right, let's try this again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag back in the air here in Bristol. Oh, it didn't. And they get through turn 1 cleanly. And Brett's having some problems on the far side of the racetrack. And Raffy's getting hooked by Random. Into the corner they go. And they complete lap 1 without many issues. 3 wide for second place. Last time they went 3 wide at a short track was Iowa. That did not go well. And Generva having some issues up there with Brett. These two were kind of getting into some beef before the race started. Expect those two to have a little bit of a chippy attitude here throughout the course of the race, especially with how aggressive Brett has been in a couple of starts that he's made. Can probably expect him to not take really any prisoners. Let's take a look at your Lockheed Martin onboard camera. Never mind, Blen almost took him out. And Generva racing her fellow Shark Motor Club. Actually, that's her team boss up there. By the way, Rapid has switched from the 0 car to the 4 car for the remainder of the season. He's driving a McLaren as well. And the field has kind of spread out a little bit. That is either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But we got a battle back here between Blen and Rapid. These two drivers really starting to get into it here. Brett got 2 positions out of the way there, and now he's got his sights set on Generva. Now for real this time. Let's take a look at your Lockheed Martin onboard camera. You can definitely see there that 307 Motorsports Ford definitely trying to get whatever ground he can get as the 2 Shark Motor Club cars kind of get into the wall there just a little bit. A little bit of aggressive racing here. They're just trying to get as many spots as they can. Generva, please try to keep it off the wall. And they're pretty spread out, actually. I'm actually kind of shocked. But we got a battle for second, actually, up there between Yotrate and Random. Matthew, I believe, was the winner here last season in the Season 3 race here at Bristol. We also got a battle toward the back again. Blen and Rapid are battling for 7th place, and I'm lagging. I don't know what the heck's going on. But they're all single file. Now we got another side-by-side battle. It's Generva and Brett. This could be nasty. Another battle for second there as well. Generva goes into the wall. She's going to have to deal with Brett. 91 laps to go. Good Lord, we have already completed almost 10. We will be completing 10 laps once Quirk crosses the line here. And I don't think I've seen a cleaner 10 laps in row racing at Bristol in my life, so I think that might be something good. 90 laps to go here in Bristol. Here comes Blen. A little bit of help from Generva. Brett's position is under fire here. And he's made his way up into 5th place. He's gone into the top 5, but Generva diving down low. Brett giving her some room there. Good driving there from the 19. But Generva is looking to get as much position as she can here. We're going to go with your Nintendo onboard camera. For some reason, a console that is over 20 years old and is now pretty much defunct is sponsoring that car. But it's a nice looking car, I will be honest. Rapid made that scheme for her earlier today. Let's take a look at the battle for second. Now that that's kind of simmered down a little bit, Blen is starting to get up to that 19 car. The 2 European drivers going at it. And it's a bit ironic right here. Brett coming from Germany and Blen coming from Poland. You make your jokes, I guess. But the battle for second still not quite simmered down yet as Random is fighting to keep that second place spot. He's got Yotrate right there behind him. Let's take a look at your Perez Motorsports onboard camera. the roof cam here, and he'll get to the inside of Random. And meanwhile, they are actually making ground there to Court in one way or another. So they're battling, yet they're also making ground. I guess some of that draft is kind of helping them out a little bit here. Oh, we got a little bit of problems down there. Glenn and Brett getting into it in off of turn 4. Contact. We got trouble on the front straightaway. Glenn saves it. He's going to come back up the racetrack. Generva going to try and take advantage of it down the middle, and she's going to make contact with Glenn on his quarter panel. It's been a very clean race up to this point. Not really any incidents to really say. Brett was really the only incident earlier, but that was because of the pit limiter. Nothing he did wrong. Lap number 18 out of 100, and this has been a very exhilarating race so far to call. 8 drivers, all of them want to try to fight for the win. And Generva, in her first ever Electric Racing Tour sanctioned race, is doing pretty well for herself. She is up into 6th place, which is third to last, but she is making a lot of really good moves. Brett's been a pretty quick car all day, and now he's fighting with our other international driver, Raffy's, the Peruvian, as he is going to Brett is going to make short work of him. He'll get on by in the middle side of the banking here. Raffy's still trying to stick with him, and Random still fighting with Yotrate. Yotrate has gotten by him into 2nd place. These two have been trading spots all afternoon. Down the back straightaway, a lot of these battles are going. We also got Generva battling with Glenn again. Raffy's still on the coattails of Brett. Let's take a look at your ST. Oh, hold on. I don't want to do that just yet. There was some smoke. Okay, they're all good. They were all good. Let's take a look at your STP onboard camera as soon as I can figure out where the camera is at. There it is. Right there, trying to get on. He's still there. He's been on the back bumper of that Ford Mustang Mach-E this entire past couple of laps, and he's going to try to get to the quarter panel, trying to drive it in a little bit aggressive there, trying to get a little bit extra time out of that 19. He's hoping that 19 car makes a mistake coming into the corner. Good luck with that. Brett has pretty much been perfect today. He did not have the greatest starting position, but he's starting to learn the setup here a little bit, and he's taking very good advantage of it. When they cross the line next time by, it'll be a quarter of the way through here in Bristol. Matthew currently sitting 0.3 of a second back from the leader, Court. He is hard charging. He was one of our favorites to win this race. If it wasn't Court, it would definitely be Yotrate. They barely had a slip of paper between them on practice times. Rapid was also the 3rd quickest in practice as well. Qualifying was kind of a different story. Who the heck is Fur Alonso? Must be one of you guys' friends. We got a battle again. Raffy's is on the inside of Brett. I am so sorry we missed that battle. Raffy's just got by, but Brett's going to try to switch back on him. Raffy's gets aggressive. He's going to block to the near side, throws a Logano block through the corner. That's going to send them both into the wall here. Brett diving to the inside. He's pissed off. He's going through the middle. Here comes Glenn down to the inside. He's going to take advantage. The Polish driver down to the inside. He's got Brett in the middle. Going up through the middle side here. Raffy's to the quarter panel of Glenn. And now here comes Generva. She's going to be on the bottom lane. The rookie trying to make a move. Raffy's gets loose into the corner. Brett goes to block. Glenn's going to have that position. He's holding on to the 4th place spot. Brett drives him in. Now Raffy's gets to the quarter panel. Big contact coming onto the front straightaway. And Brett once again to the quarter panel of that number 16 Dodge Challenger. And that's not even to mention the battle for the lead also heating up. It's Court and Yotrate. Random is just waiting to bite. He's just biding his time back there. 70 laps to go here in Bristol, Tennessee. A lot of interesting battles. It's Bristol, baby. And now look at this Rapid also waiting for a moment to strike. The 3 Shark Motor Club Toyotas versus the single 307 Ford. And Court made a little bit of contact. He said, "My bad," over the radio. We're trying to keep track on as many of this as we can. We got battles for the lead. Yotrate currently battling with Court for the lead here in Bristol. Let me know if I need to change the ambiance. But we're starting to get into this is a day to night race, by the way. So we're going to start getting, once we get to like, I don't know, lap 60 or something, we will be switching it over to night. I do have a little button right here. Let's see if that changes anything. Yeah, it actually did. Under the lights here in Bristol, as day turns to night here in the birthplace of country. And now here comes Generva to the bottom of her teammate. That's a teammate. These three right here are all on the same team. Shark Motor Club trying to make a statement here. By the way, Quirt is half a track length to the last place cars. Oh, that's not Quirt, by the way. That is actually Matthew that has taken the lead. He's used to these setups. And he actually won here. I believe he won here last year in Season 4, if I'm not quite mistaken. And with that being said, the battles have kind of simmered down a little bit, but for how long? Also, another thing of concern, pit stops. Generva, first one into pit road. Generva Gaming will get her first stop in. And that should tell you, green flag pit stops have officially started. And this is about where Matthew's expertise kind of shines, because we know how good he is at pit strategy. His first ever win in the Electric Racing Tour came at Portland in Season 4 off of battery strategy, where he literally ran out of batteries. He crossed the line to win in Portland last season. Generva has re-entered the racetrack, and she's just going to have to be patient here. When they all cycle out, she should be in a much better spot. But right now, she sits 2 laps down, which is very easy to do on a green flag pit cycle at Bristol. So don't get too discouraged about that. But she's trying to get Glenn off her case there. Lap number 41 here in Bristol. Will we see another stop here? And we got another battle between Raffies and Rapid, the two Shark Motor Club drivers. Got McLaren Power right there behind Raffies. They're trying to get some positions here, trying to gain a little bit more time. They're also trying to get up to Brett, and Brett's just trying he's got his eyes set on Glenn, who's right up there in front of him. Still no takers yet. Oh, never mind. Rapid's into pit road. He'll be the second one to pit. The Shark Motor Club cars 2/3 of the way pitted. Lap number 44 here. When they cross the line, we will have 66 laps to go. And now we do. This race has gone by lightning quick so far, almost to the halfway mark here in Bristol. Matthew leads by 0.6 of a second, almost 0.7 of a second over Quirt. Take a look at your Uma Masume onboard camera. I guess that car's kind of growing on me, I will admit, but that car's got some horses behind it. Also, I find it pretty ironic that a horse-inspired car is a Ford Mustang. That's pretty ironic, but Quirt is currently trying to get up to the back bumper of Matthew. And kind of have to wonder when these two are going to pit. Raffies, speaking of pit, Raffies is in. All 3 of the Shark Motor Club cars have pitted. Matthew is just staying out there. He's saving. You can definitely tell he's saving because he is losing a ton of pace here to Quirt. He's trying to stretch out this fuel run, or this battery run, as much as he can. Lap number 49. 2 laps to go until halfway. And down the back straightaway they go. And so far, this has been a very good race so far for these drivers, or for these 2 drivers up here. Quirt just trying to get that lead back. He led a ton of laps earlier. Matthew ran him down and took the lead, but he had to battle with Random first. And this has been kind of an instant classic kind of race. Hopefully the finish shakes out to be better than what it's setting up to be, but it's been a very good race. And we are officially past the halfway mark. Matthew leads at half. And we will server lock the server. No more drivers can join. Rapid, Generva, and Raffies were the ones who pitted. Generva has managed to put herself back into 7th place. Brett, Blend, Random, and Matthew and Court are yet to pit. Kind of have to wonder when those pit stops are going to come up here. The battery drains pretty quickly in the cars these days. We increased the the battery consumption a couple of weeks ago before the Saskatchewan race. It was either Saskatchewan or Central Montana. I can't remember which one. As they've definitely filed out a little bit here, but there's another battle up there. I can definitely see Blend taking on. I don't know if this is for position though. I think it's Blend taking on Rapid. No, that is definitely not for position, but still definitely something to keep an eye on. Blend's had to deal with some of the pit traffic here. And Brett's going to have to deal with that in just a couple of moments, too, because he's got Generva right in front of him, who's 2 laps down because of the pit cycle. And it shocked me at this point that the top 5 has not pitted yet. They have managed to stretch out their battery, and I'm wondering if the Shark Motor Club cars didn't try to short pit in case of a yellow. We got contact. Caution might come out here in just a moment, and then all that strategy will be all for naught. It's been caution-free all day so far, but Brett's trying his damnedest to make sure that doesn't stay that way as he's racing Generva pretty hard through there trying to get by the lap car. And he'll get by relatively cleanly without much issue. Lap number 58 out of 100. We started in the daylight. We're now into the dusk, about to turn into night. And look at Matthew. I think he's led the most laps so far now. If not, he's getting close. But it's been a great race so far. Once they cross the line, I will switch once they start lap 61, I will switch the time over. 41 laps to go here in Bristol. And Random's also getting a little closer, but Court is to his back bumper. Here's your Uma Masume onboard camera once again. And it is officially nightfall now. But Court has definitely gotten a lot closer here. Random is starting to get closer as well. We got a battle back up that way, though. Brett and Rapid are battling each other. Shark Motor Club cars have been giving him a lot of grief today. I'm sure he's getting a little sick of seeing the Japanese muscle behind him, or in front of him, or both. And just like a stomach bug, it is coming out both ways here. It's been Shark Motor Club just harassing him all day today. And Brett's diving down into pit road. He's going to stop, but we also got another stop coming in too. I believe it might be Quirt. No, it's not Quirt. Who is that? It is not Random. It is somebody else. I think it might be Blend that just came in. Yeah, it was. He's coming out of pit road now. So Yotre and Quirt are the only ones who haven't pitted. Blend, please watch the pit exit. Let the number 1 by. Okay, you're good now. You're good. Honestly, I should have warned him for unsafe pit exit. Brett is coming out of pit road, and he is going to get his green flag stop, and I think this should carry them to the end of the race. If they went 65 laps on a single charge, I think this will take them to the end of the race. I don't even think they'll need to save. Blend 2 laps down. He is the first car a lap down now. Unfortunately, if a caution were to come out. Oh, Random. Actually, never mind. Random is a lap down, so he'd be the first car to get he'd be on the lead lap if a caution were to come out right now. But Matthew and Court still battling for the lead. 0.2 of a second separate the two. Lap number 68. This means 34 laps to go if my math, or 33 laps to go if my math is correct. And Blend just trying to race the leaders here. The Fords have been saving fuel pretty well today. Brett, Yotre, and Quirt, the 3 Ford drivers, have been saving a lot of battery here. They've done a very good job on that front. Matthew and Quirt more so, though. They're the only ones who haven't, well, except for Random. Actually, I think Random might have actually pit, but they're the only. But those two are the only ones that haven't pit at this point in time. There you go. The board has changed here. 31 laps to go here from Bristol. And it'll be a big points day for Matthew if he can finish this one strong and actually get the win. That'll be a lot of valuable points. You are awarded 25 points for winning, and he also qualified on pole, if I'm not mistaken, so that'll be 30 points total if he can get the win here. But he's got to hold off Quirt, who's making a hard charge, looking for his 6th win of the season. But right now he's also got to deal with Blen. It's like going through, it's like NR 2003 lap traffic that just kind of make things a lot more difficult when you're trying to get up to the leader. I guess that's true in any racing game, really, but 28 laps to go here in Bristol. The top two still have not pitted, and it makes you wonder if they can make it to the end. If they can, that'll be mighty impressive. You can definitely tell Matthew's saving a little bit here. I wish I had that kind of fuel saving skill in pro racing leagues. But 28 laps to go as Quirt continues to go. He's got a big run down the inside, and he's going to dive to the inside. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Quirt has the advantage. Matthew goes middle. And Quirt will clear him. New leader. And contact! Yo, Trey to the quarter panel. Oh, big contact there. He's still not done. He's going to hook the one down into the inside. Oh, my good Lord. And Matthew will retake the lead and a little bit of dirty driving to do it. 4th on down is all 2 laps down. Blen trying to unlap himself. He's going to get to the back bumper of Yotre. Actually, he might push him down the front straightaway. And that's going to leave Matthew out to dry. Quirt is going to have the lead. Down the back straightaway, it's like Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch in 2008. And we got problems there. Blair almost got hooked right head on into the wall. 22 laps to go here in Bristol. And look at Brett back there. He's trying to get up to Blen. That is a battle for position. And Quirt is going to dive down into pit road. Matthew is the only one left that has not pitted yet. Quirt will be able to make it to the end of the race. And this pit cycle is going to be interesting. Yotre gets the lead. He'll keep the lead. And it's going to be all up to a battery strategy here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Will Matthew be able to make it to the end? Who knows? If he can't, it might be a problem. But either way, that's going to be very good news for Random and the rest of the field here if they can get that lap back through the pit stop. And Quirt is out of pit road. I don't know how many laps down he is, if he is at all. I think it might only be 1 down. Yeah, he is. So he's racing with Random for position here. And a fast stop for Quirt avoids going multiple laps down. But where's Yotre? Just keep an eye on that Ford Mach-E. 18 laps to go here in Bristol. Make that 17. Blen is out in front. Well, I think he might have gotten by. So Blen up into 4th place. He predicted finishing last here during qualifying, and it's looking... He's doing twice as well as he thought he would. He is up into the top 4. Matthews still holding on strong. We are going to keep our eye on that car, but we got some battles for position back here that we do need to keep an eye on. Random goes into Generva. I'm going to say a verbal warn to that number 27 car. Generva's going to retaliate. Pushes him down below the bottom of the line there. Ill-advised move there by the rookie. And Rapid, the boss man, gives his driver a little bit of a tap there. I doubt that was intentional. 14 laps to go. Matthew still holding on strong. He is definitely battery saving here. Brett is the faster car here compared to that Perez Motorsports Ford. 13 laps to go here. Good Lord. Never in my life would I imagine that Bristol would be a fuel mileage race, but here we are. Maybe I just don't know enough about the racetrack. And Matthew just continues to hold on. Quirt in second. He's going to try to hold off Regent Gaming. And Random is coming right there below the 43 car. Raffy's into 6th place, 2 laps down. 12 laps to go. The moment of truth here. Matthew still out in the lead. Just keep your eye on that silver Ford. If he can make it to the end, that might be just his greatest achievement yet. 10 laps to go. Down the back straightaway, trying to lap Brett. Brett got his lap back not long ago. He is now 1 lap down. This will put him in very good position if either Matthew runs out of fuel or he pits, or battery I meant to say, or he pits. Matthew is definitely battery saving. I heard him let off there in the corner. 8 laps to go. Can he make it? And Random currently battling with that 43 machine of Raffy, the 2 Toyotas fighting. Wind River Racing versus Shark Motor Club. I am just so perplexed how Matthew has been able to save up to this point. Goes by pit road again. He's losing a ton of time. Brett has put a bit of a gap to him there. This will either be the greatest strategy move in series history, or it will backfire completely. I hear squealing. I think I might just be hearing things. Hear that, or some people are wall popping. If so, then don't do it. Four laps to go. Matthew just crossed the line again. Still trying to hold on. Quirt into 2nd place. The top 3 might be settled if Matthew goes into pit road. Quirt will most likely win this race. But he's got to hold on. 3 laps to go. Does he have enough battery? Who knows? 2 laps to go. 1 mile to go here in Bristol, Tennessee. Here in the bottom of the Appalachians. Generva, keep it off the wall. I can see you there in turn 4. Turn 4. She's trying to battle, though, with Raffies. This might be for position. And here we go. 1 lap to go, presented by Hankook. This has just been an absolutely wild race. Matthew's going to do it. Off of through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And once again, just like in Portland, Matthew wins at Bristol on battery strategy. Matthew, I'm going to ask you to please let them all cross the line here so we can collect the results. Let Glenn and Brett cross. Awesome. Okay, I got the results. Y'all can do whatever you want now. But Matthew is a winner. And at 3% as well. 3% battery. He did it. A battery strategy race. And he does it again, just like Portland in Season 4. The best fuel saver in the Electric Racing Tour. And he will collect his 2nd win of the season. And Generva also ran out of battery right at the line. What a close call. We'd like to remind our audience here on Perez Sports Network that this victory is brought to you by the same people that fuel you. Victory's First Stop is brought to you by Maverick, Adventure's First Stop. What a win. You are at negative 11. You're at 11 to the good at lap number 45. Wow. So, man, that was awesome. You fuel saved like that. Negative 11 to the good. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you did that. I don't know what kind of voodoo witchcraft you do in the car. Do you even have enough battery to make it to victory lane? Do I even doubt him at this point? Of course he has enough battery. Well, even then he could just drive through the stall and get it. I really don't want to have to impound your beached car if you run out of battery going to victory lane. Good Lord. This series has definitely produced some interesting races in its short lifespan. 5 seasons, 2.5 years of action. We have seen fuel mileage races in this, in races that we never thought we'd see battery mileage in. And he does it. Matthew, for the second time that we know of, he did it at Portland, ran out of battery the second he crossed the line in Portland last season. And he does it again. 1% fuel as he gets into victory lane. That's incredible, folks. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. That is just incredible. You're not gonna beat Matthew on long runs. You're just not, because of stuff like this. And he will win the Kubota 200, I believe. I can't remember if he won here last season or if that was Forza. But Matthew will win at Bristol Motor Speedway either way. And what a victory it is. Wearing the autism outfit and everything, as described by Random during practice. And we're going to take the picture here in 3, 2, 1. Picture. What can I say? It's Bristol, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo! What a race that was. May not have been the most entertaining race in the world, but battery strategy was everything in this one. Court thought he had enough there for Matthew, but Matthew, you saw it in the chat itself there. Matthew was negative 11 laps to the good. By the time lap 45 rolled around, he didn't think he was going to make it, but he did enough fuel saving, and he made it all 100 laps with just enough battery to get him into victory lane before the battery died. What a race for Matthew for his second win of Season 5. He hasn't shown up to very many races this season. He's still trying to make that last-second championship charge. And even then, this race is going to have a lot of implications for the standings. Of course, drivers, we will have that out here in about half an hour or so. With that being said, that's going to do it for our coverage here from Bristol Motor Speedway. The Truck Series will be here a week delayed. They were supposed to be here today, but we didn't have the truck race last week because I didn't have a host and I was asleep. So, Truck Series will be here from Bristol. Yeah, from Bristol. And then next week for the Cup Series, as soon as I can get that pulled up for you, just give me 1 second. Next week will be the Sioux Chief 200 from Kansas Speedway, the big track that is in Kansas City, Kansas, not Missouri. We'll be right there from America's heartland, from one of my personal favorite racetracks. And then on November 30th in week 14, we will be at the Michigan Speedway for the Michigan 200. But, of course, that's going to do it for our coverage here. The trophy here is a I want to say that's like a Gatling gun or something. I don't know. With the state of Tennessee on it, the star signifying the location of the city of Bristol, right there on the Tennessee-Virginia border. From the foothills of the Appalachians here in Bristol, Tennessee, we'd like to thank you so much for watching the Kubota 200 on Perez Sports Network. We'll see you next week on November 23rd from Kansas Speedway for the Sioux Chief 200. That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then the Truck Series will be racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway next week. And until next time, have a good one. We'll see you next week on Perez Sports Network.